What's good, YouTube family? You already know I'm back with another viral video. It's your boy, NoPlayingDinero. Tapping in out there 803 Columbia, South Carolina, taking this thing nationwide, man. It's been over 42 days since we dropped our last video, so make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe, let everybody know the China ain't dead. We still here and we bringing nothing but that fire each and every time. Hey, boy, we got some news coming out of CashOut camp. Yeah, the rapper CashOut from out of Macon, Georgia, but resides now in Atlanta. Been residing in Atlanta since he got into this music game. If y'all don't know your boy CashOut, please understand what you hearing and seeing, man. That boy 30 that Ozo, round that Nina. Yeah, got himself in a real tough jam out there. Him, his family members, and a couple other his cousins was on trial for ass trafficking. Man, make sure you stay tuned because you already know what's up.
Cue the boy.
Now let's get to that business. You hit that like yet? You hit that subscribe yet? Rapper CashOut, whose real name is John Michael Gibson, has been found guilty on multiple charges in his trafficking RICO case. Understand what you're hearing and seeing. The jury reached a verdict in a weeks-long trial on Friday, July 18, 2025. CashOut was found guilty on racketeering, R, pimping, aggravated S, and 2 counts of S trafficking. He was acquitted of a 3rd count, as well as other charges that had other severe nature and S crimes. Understand what you hearing and seeing. The boy was out there on the street really pimping, and not only was he just pimping, his mama was out there pimping, and his co-defendant cousin and his sister was also involved. Prosecutors argued that CashOut, along with his mother, Linda Smith, and another co-defendant, Tyron Taylor, ran a criminal enterprise disguised as a record company. Understand what you hearing and seeing. These boys out here using these record label names and they hiding the front. Now everybody want to know why the Georgia DA be all over the record labels like that. You know what I'm saying? Because these boys is running criminal enterprise behind these record labels. Let's get back to the story and see what's happening. Several alleged victims testified that evidence including text messages, financial records. CashOut mother Linda Smith was found guilty of racketeering and 1 count of trafficking. Tyron Taylor was found guilty of all charges against him except for 1 count of pimping. Understand what you're hearing and seeing. CashOut got himself in a terrible jam, but not only did he get in the jam, he got his whole family, a couple of his family members, his mom, his cousin, his sister got involved. Sentencing for these boys in this case is going to be Monday, July 21st. I'm going to keep you updated on all that. If convicted, CashOut facing over 25 years to life in prison. Make it make sense.
Better known as CashOut, guilty of forcing women into sex trafficking. The rapper and his 2 co-defendants were also found guilty of RICO charges. Channel 2 investigative reporter Ashley Lincoln's been following this case since the very beginning. She's been in the courtroom, was there for the verdict. Ashley, you're live outside the courthouse in Fulton County now. That verdict came down just minutes ago.
Just minutes ago, Karen, as you mentioned, all 3 guilty on RICO and additional charges. I can tell you since day 1, this jury has been very attentive, taking notes. They've even asked several questions today throughout their deliberation process and ultimately reached the verdict that we're at now. When that verdict was being read this afternoon, very little emotion coming from CashOut, whose real name is John Gibson, his mother, Linda Smith, who also goes by Mama Cash, and his cousin, Tyrone Taylor. Here's a breakdown of the charges. Gibson, guilty of RICO, at least 9 additional charges, including pimping and pandering, sex trafficking. His mother, Mama Cash, Linda Smith, also guilty of RICO, and 1 charge of keeping a place of prostitution because her name was on the lease of some of these locations where this alleged sex trafficking was happening. And his cousin, Tyrone Taylor, also found guilty and additional charges of drugs and sodomy, and also allegations of hindering. Well, he's been convicted of hindering an investigation. Now, while they were being handcuffed, they still showed very little emotion. There wasn't a lot of supporters for his mother. There were family members for Tyrone Taylor, however, in the courtroom. I spoke with his mother earlier today, and she denies and says her son isn't the person that he's being accused of in this indictment. However, after that verdict was read, prosecutors told me this was a success for the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. All three will have to appear in court on Monday so they can learn how long they will be sentenced in that case. Channel 2, we will be there when that sentencing happens next week. But a very long trial, 7 weeks, finally at a conclusion with the guilty.
Cue the boy.